gentlemen, abracadabra, alakazam, just like magic, the audio's here. How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? In today's episode with Live with Lafon, we're going to do a bit of a cooking type of thing. Basically, I'm going to cook ramen noodles the way my father would have made it back in the day. And then we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about today, because there's a lot to talk about. A lot of shit's happened. If you live underneath a fucking rock, this is the show to help get you at least semi-caught up what's out there in the news. Whether we're getting trolled by fucking weird-ass news stories, or we're finding some cool shit, we share what we find, we talk about what we see. That being said, if you're hearing that beautiful pupper in the background, that there is beautiful Cody barking away, trying to let you guys know that TTS is active. It's only $1. The links are going to be featured in descriptions and in the chats, shared around by beautiful people who help us out and do all that beautiful, beautiful mess, you know what I'm saying? That being said, how we doing? How we doing? Look, if y'all are wondering how we plan to cook today's noodles, right? Like I said, we're going to do this the way my father did, okay? He did it very simple, right? Cook his noodles, and he would include a little bit of this. A little bit of juice from a cutie orange. And a hearty amount of cheese. Trust me on that one. So we're going to make some ramen. We're going to relax. As stated, TTS is only $1. So, yeah. Me and my buddy here, we're gonna go ahead and make ourselves a meal. And we'll talk about gotta fix your stutter sometimes. Make it into something kind of crazy rhyme. Gotta do your best to try to do it in time. I gotta do my best to get the heat going in. I got to go get the water and boiling, bro. I'm gonna cook some more. Doing my best to try to keep that flow. Bum, 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 bum. Sorry, guys. Holy shit. Just a huge influx of them endorphins, you know? It's a good day. It's a beautiful day. It's a lovely day when you got your beautiful pets on your neck and you're just kind of enjoying yourself. Now, as I kind of prep our ingredients, right? Let me bring up one of the first subjects I plan to talk about tonight, all right? We do have quite a bit to talk about, okay? Quite a bit. So let me pull out my list, okay? Because as I talked about yesterday, right? I make a list when I come out and do this show, right? I have a list of things that I'll talk about. Helps me kind of have a little structure to myself, right? First up, well, let's talk about the fact that apparently our leader-in-chief, that is the president, has made the internet's apparent man's man cry. It is very apparent that Joe Rogan has uploaded a video becoming pretty emotional over something Trump's done, and I'm not going to act like some political expert, right? I don't give a shit really about politics all that much. There's very few things that I will throw my hat in the ring about politics with. That being said, I guess it's over some broken promises that Trump had made, things like that, and honestly, right, and to take this, you know, Rogan, take this as someone who has experience with getting stupidly emotional over stupid shit on camera. And, you know, maybe it's more or less not stupid for you, right? Maybe there's more of a personal thing involved in the situation that I don't know about. Maybe the public doesn't know about. Very possible, because I'm not the most informed person on earth, right? I'm a very dumb guy. I just like to share what I learn and see on the internet, right? But anyhow, that being said, it doth appear Trump has made the internet's man's man cry. And Joe Rogan, I just gotta say, what? You're telling me you're the dude that's supposed to be everyone's internet daddy to look at, to learn to be a man, right? And yet you're gonna cry over fucking politics? Brother, I learned a long time ago we don't have any kind of influence under politics. And it don't matter if you're voting, if you're working for the system or whatever. Unless you yourself are part of the system, it don't really affect you past, well, How much is it going to be to buy a fucking apple today to survive? And the worst part is, we don't even get a say in that. We just kind of get told, here you go, here's your tax rate, here's your cost of living, there you go, buddy. Make it work. I swear. The government and politics, man, it's a lot like the idiot coworker that everyone talks about at work, right? Gotta fix my belt real quick. I fell out of the belt loop it's in. Old belt, falling apart, but we'll try to make it work, right? That being said, enough with politics, right? I bet you're wondering, you know, did your father really eat his ramen using a little bit of freshly squeezed orange juice and cheese? And the answer is quite simply yes. The cheese offers a sweetness, and then the orange offers a bit of a kick, right? So first thing we're going to do, all right, and it's quite simple, right? First thing we're going to do, get our water to a boil. Ow! That actually kind of fucking hurt. That actually did get kind of hot. That's just supposed to be like a camping stove, but it does get kind of hot. It's not as hot as like on a fire stove, right? But it's pretty warm. Now you want a tip for keeping your water at an even temperature throughout. You're going to stir it, like so. Like so. Now, currently, we are still waiting on this to finish bubbling up. So as we wait for this to finish bubbling up, allow me to remind you guys that, hey, TTS is active. And if there's something you want to get a comment from us about or anything, make sure you guys are utilize the TTS. It's a buck. It's a beautiful stream. Simple, easy to find. Nothing else. That being said, a good question that I think we get asked often, right? Because I come from Michigan. I'm from the Northwest, right? Or the Northeast, right? Midwest. Whatever you want to say, right? I'm from Michigan, right? And one thing that a lot of Southerners and Northerners tend to argue about is it soda pop or is it pop? Or is it a Coke? Because in some places they just call every soda a fucking Coke. Oh, give me a Sprite Coke. No, that sounds so fucking stupid. I'm going to be honest. That just sounds like Coca-Cola got their hands on the balls of those people and is just yanking, demanding for some respect. Because, my friend, not every soda is a cola. Coke is always a cola. Soda is not always a cola. Though Coke is a soda, soda is not a Coke. Okay? That's pure looking at that with reason, right? But to be honest, I've always called it soda pop. If I'm referring to it by the full name, soda pop, otherwise I'm just going to grab a can of soda, whatever, bottle of soda. Always said soda, soda pop. Or I'll just say whatever the fuck it is that I want, right? If I'm like, oh, I want to get some Sprite, I'm like, oh, well, give me a soda. I'm just like, I'm going to give me a Sprite. Like, who the fuck these days still uses the terms soda and pop? They're such a waste of fucking time. There's so many better conjunctures you can use. Or just say what the fuck you're grabbing, you know? Make the guy who has to do the grocery trip to fucking restock their sodas, make their job a little bit easier, okay? Something I forgot to grab before coming on was my cup of water that's out of the end table. If I remember, I still have to grab that real quick. I'd appreciate it. Take a little sip while we're working out here, you know. Thank you, Productions. Thank you. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, how we doing? Now, as we wait for this brick of noodle to go tender, relax, and cook up, right? Let's talk a little more. So, if you guys are ever paying attention to media about people who are kind of crashing out, kind of losing their way type of shit. Let's talk about Jack Doherty for a moment, right? So apparently recently, during a stream, he had like his life threatened. And apparently in the process of his life being threatened, he left his bitch at the store. Like just up and left her with a guy actively making a threat upon the man's life. Up and just leaves his bitch. I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be quite blunt with you, right? I don't give a fuck if it's a bitch or if it's my friend B. I ain't leaving a homie behind. Your bitch is one of your closest homies. Your bitch is your homie that sees your dick like every night, okay? That's the homie you should be like looking out for the most. So like, leaving your bitch behind like that, man, especially when you got security. Oh, but we gotta remember, his security doesn't carry firearms. A lot of fucking use you are. You telling me all a dude has to do is come up with a fucking 9mm and he's good? You just shouldn't do that, by the way. Do not actually go do that. I do not condone. Like, if we talk about a person, right, I do not condone anyone going out and harassing these individuals, right? I do condone us making a shit ton of jokes on these motherfuckers. I mean a shit ton, right? Rightfully earned, especially that asshole. But I don't think anyone ever deserves to be attacked or, you know, destroyed over some stupid shit, you know? So, obviously, we're all making jokes here when we talk about shit. But Jack Doherty, you know, in the long run, right, good to see that he got out okay. Good to see that it really didn't escalate all too much. But, buddy, I would really start considering some of the choices you make in your life because you are not making a lot of people happy with you. And there's a lot of people that really don't fucking like you right now. I'm just going to put it like that. There's a lot of people that don't seem to like you, Jack. And you know what's crazy, right? You know what's one thing that's guaranteed to not get you as infamous and hated as old Jackie boy? Utilizing our TTSs, man. I'm telling you. They're $1, super cheap, simple. I believe they're the same price as 2 packets of ramen noodles. Actually, a little bit cheaper because most places I see a pack of ramen noodles go for like 59 cents. Anyhow, once your noodles are about as tender as you'd like, so once your noodles are as tender as you like them, right? Some of you may have to remove some water. I don't, because I'm smart enough to put in just the right amount. What you're gonna do, I forgot the knife portion, right? Like a dumbass. But what we can do here is just tear a little off, right? We just need a little opening for the juice to come out. And we're gonna squeeze this cutie orange, now that we have a small hole here. We're gonna squeeze the juices from this orange into this ramen noodles, all right? After we squeeze it in, we're gonna kill the heat to this, all right? So we're gonna squeeze it in. Oh, that's gonna be good. Just like that. We're gonna stir that. I'm actually gonna keep my burner on a little bit longer so that it'll finish up the stuff, right? But around this time, you should be able to kill your burner, right? Now, if you're wondering what my father's thinking was behind this style of ramen noodles, allow me to explain, right? So his thinking was that the salt in these packages of seasoning, they're usually really fucking salty. Like really fucking salty. And if you only use half a packet, it doesn't taste as flavorful. And he wanted to find a way where you could kind of take away the salt, kind of make it a tastier treat, right? And so he found a way. He found a way. He said, put a little bit of the cutie orange juice in. You grab 3 slices of good cheese. What you're going to do is you're going to tear it and drop it in. You tear up 1 slice, you throw it in, stir. Tear up your 2nd slice, throw it in, stir. Tear up your 3rd slice, throw it in, and stir. I'm going to kill my heat right now. Just because now my noodle's ready. Around this time, around a few moments ago, your noodles should have been ready, right? This isn't a particularly long dish to make. It's fucking ramen noodles. What bitch ass motherfucker doesn't know how to make fucking ramen noodles, right? Now we're just gonna give that a quick twirl. Take our 2nd slice. Rip, 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 rip. Tear, tear. Ripperino, ripperino. Tear. Oh, that's a Gouda piece of cheese. I wish I had like a spare shirt or something to grip the pot with so I can stir. Because sadly enough, this pot, I should say, is like the little toaster that could. In the sense that this thing has a busted handle. That being said, final bit of cheese here. We're going to tear up. And we're going to throw in.
Heat it up.
Here we go. And it does look like we got ourselves a little something extra to throw in, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So what we got here is 2 bona fide. I do believe these here are some Oscar Mayer wieners. Could be wrong though. Who here is old enough to remember the Oscar Mayer wiener song, right? Who remembers that? If you just answered yes, what the fuck's wrong with you? What are you doing here? Don't you have like taxes to go pay? Retirement to file for? There we go. Now, killed the heat to my noodles. Because at this point, right, they're done cooking, right? Now we're just getting our 2 wieners ready. What's going to happen is once those wieners are done, we're going to dice them up. And then we're going to throw them in to our pan of food. Now, if a friend of mine could take the cheese, put it in the fridge so it don't melt in this summer heat inside the studio with all these lights bearing down, I would not appreciate that. There we go. Let the rest of that melt out just fine. Should be nice and perfect. Nice! You know what I'm saying? We got our wieners right here cooking on up. Doing their thing. And what we're doing at this point is we're waiting for the wieners to finish up their cooking. That being said, yeah, no, straight up though, as I was saying, yeah, Doherty apparently had himself in quite a pickle. And it's a pickle that you don't want to find yourself in, right? There way we can have a creamer take this so it doesn't go bad in the heat. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to the people that helped make this kind of thing possible. They are absolutely fucking awesome. This is a great show. Love having you guys here. Just a reminder, TTS is active. It's only $1. It's something very beautiful. This allows you guys to have an actual voice on the show. Gives you guys a way to be verbal, you know what I'm saying? That being said, the TTS is currently on and active. Now, next up is, I wanted to talk about something that's more of like a nerdy type of rant type of thing for a moment while we wait for these wieners to get nice and cooked up and ready to go. And that's, you know, today I was kind of just scrolling through, watching some stuff, you know, just kind of relaxing just before the show. Because typically the way my day looks before these shows is I spend most of the day kind of looking around, finding different topics to talk about. Realistically anything, right? And from there, I make a list of things that I want to bring up on stream, right? Topics that I'll talk about. Try to have a little bit of a guide, a little something to help put me through it. And, you know, I watched this video. This guy talked about, this guy talked about 10 movie villains that are 10 classical horror movie villains that you could totally, like, beat and survive, right? And I'm going to be honest with you. One that you guys don't realize is actually super easy to beat. It's Jason Voorhees. He's actually a lot easier to beat than a lot of you guys think. Get this, ready? So, let me give you a synopsis of this guy, right? And you guys tell me if this guy sounds like a real threat. Ready? A killer who is petrified of water, who supernaturally is somehow damaged by being near water. Basically a villain with hydrophobia. Just keep a pool on property that's like 100 feet from the outer edges to the middle. Make that bitch over 12 feet deep. And then just chill and float in the middle. You survive. You make it. That's all you gotta do, right? That's how you beat them, is you survive. Now, Freddy, surprisingly enough, is a lot easier. Because for some reason, it seems to be a monumental task. I'm gonna move this pot off burner so the cheese don't melt. Should be cooled down enough. Ooh. Just want to make sure that don't melt up and clump up, you know what I'm saying? That being said, look, okay, I lost track of what I was talking about, so let's move on to our next subject. We talked about the weird situation going on with, you know, Rogan. We talked about Doherty. Oh yeah, but anyhow, the movie villain thing, right? So Jason Voorhees, super easy to destroy. Freddy, super easy to destroy. And a lot of you guys say, oh, Chucky is so terrifying. He'd be so devastating. Just move to Texas or Arizona. And I'm not even joking. Just stay there forever. It's either too fucking hot or it's a fucking blizzard. Dolls cannot take humidity, heat, and extreme temperature changes. Need I say more? Need I say more to a point of changing my name to Nemor? Or no, Namor, not Nemor, Namor. Gotta say that shit right, you know? Gotta respect on the homie's name, right? Gotta respect the fucking Marvel version of DC's, you know, sweet, golden, blonde-haired, sweet boy Aquaman, right? However you gotta pronounce him. What is fucking Aquaman's tagline? Because there's fucking Superman, the Man of Steel, Batman, the Dark Knight. There's fucking Wonder Woman, the Warrior of Truth, or like the Amazoness of Truth. And then there's freaking Green Lantern, the Light of Hope. What the hell is Aquaman's? The Wave of Peace? The Fisherman of, humankind's fully. I don't know. And you know, people make fun of Aquaman all the time, but the guy's actually pretty interesting when you actually look into the guy. Very interesting. Has more than just talking to fish powers, even though a lot of us just kind of boil him down to that, right? That's what we boil him down to most of the time. That being said, I do want to keep one thing here as we continue on with the superhero stuff. And I got to ask, you know, who do you think as a superhero cooks the best dishes? For me, honestly, I got to think it's Black Widow. She's a super spy. She's been around the world. She's educated. Most educated super spy women know how to cook. You know what I'm saying? That being said, you know, I do want to bring up another subject, and it's something I kind of took up a while ago, and that's a good question for you guys, and that's this, all right? When it comes to movies that are out currently, right? When it comes to movies, especially recent releases, a lot of us tend to pick between two different films that we end up seeing if we have a certain genre we love, and there's two films that are coming out in that genre. And one of those genres recently has released two films at the same time, or at least close to the same time, is superheroes. We all know about the recent Superman release, and we also know about the recent Fantastic Four hype. There's a lot of hype around it. A lot of people have also shit-talked it because apparently the thing, Ben Grimm's, sounds weird. Apparently everyone seems a little off from what they would be. I'm open-minded, right? I want to see a good Fantastic Four film because the Fantastic Four as a comic series has been... I mean, it's always been an interesting subject, right? It's always been an interesting subject. Reed Richards has a very interesting perspective on love, for sure. Johnny Flame's always fun to watch as the Human Torch. And then, you know, the Thing is always someone that you can pull a message from, right? Learn something from. A little bit of humility from the Thing, right? And, you know, I'm hoping, as much as they've shit on the trailers from having a weird voice, I'm hoping that this film comes out good. Because the Fantastic Four deserve a fucking good film. At least on the level of the old X-Men films back in like the early 2000s, the 90s, that were actually pretty good, but they were never as good as, say, like Jurassic Park or Star Wars. At least that's my opinion, right? And again, my opinion might not fucking matter to you. To you, I might be talking a bunch of fucking gibberish bullshit, right? Anyhow, we've ran it on long enough for the hot dogs to be done, right? I keep saying wieners, but they're hot dogs. They're straight up just hot dogs. They're not wiener schnitzel or anything like that. And now that they're done, we're just going to kind of pull them out. I'm going to use the ramen packet as like a little cutting board slash a little plate to cut these up. We're just going to dice these up, and you want them to be about pinky thickness, right? Pinky thickness. About as thick as your pinky when you dice these hot dogs up. Oh yeah, this bad boy is dicing up nicely. We have boiled this dog to a perfect consistency. It cuts like butter. And that's how you know you gotta go to hot dog. When you can cut that shit with your fork like butter. And now we're just gonna dump them in. And now we're gonna stir. Stir on in, stir on in. Here we go, we got ourselves some good Dan. There we go, woo! Alright, so, now that you've mixed your hot dogs on in, you've mixed in your hot dogs, you mixed in your cheese, you mixed in some of your freshly squeezed orange juice, you got your seasoning in there, your noodles are nice and tender. We are now to a point where we will be able to go the fuck ahead, sit down, and have ourselves a taste. Let's just make sure we gather up all our trashamundo. Try to keep our refuse to a minimum. And why don't I pull this chair on up? Whew. Have us a little bit of a drink. And we taste test our damn food, ladies and gentlemen, because a good chef taste tests their food, right? That's right, buddy. That's right, little buddy. That's right. Taste test our food. Well, I mean, I'd like to think my dad's way of cooking this shit's actually kind of good. You know what I'm saying? Let's just relax, okay? Besides, you can't even eat this shit. You don't even have a working mouth. That being said, I'm gonna stir this up a couple more times, right? Just a couple light more stirs. I'm gonna stab me a piece of hot dog on the fork. And I'm gonna spaghetti style twirl me some noodle. And we're gonna get ourselves a nice healthy bite. Real quick of this fresh off the stovetop. And after it's had a chance to cool down, we'll try it when it's cooled down. But here we go. A nice healthy bite. Nice bit of noodle, nice bit of cheese, nice bit of dog. We're going to go ahead and try this out. You ready? No, it's not made of you. I don't know what the fuck they're made of, but I'm pretty sure they don't make them out of fucking space age pirate things. Oh my god. Oh my god. Dad, you were on to something. You were on to something with this. Oh my god. Oh my god, my old man was on to something. My old man was really on to something with this. It's very... The orange flavor that comes in from the freshly squeezed juice is very, very complimentary to the salty, savory taste of the chicken, okay? The chicken. And, the cheese? Well, it makes it taste like a big old thing of, like, some cheese fry, basically. Stir-fried cheesy way. Upon second bite, that shit gets a 10 out of 10. Pops, you knew what the fuck you was doing when you made this. You knew what you were doing. You knew what you was doing when you made this, Pops. I ain't gonna act like you was dumb. You was pretty smart. You know what's a smart, guys? You know what else is fucking smarter than shit? Utilizing a voice when it's given to you. Sweet little reminder that TTS is active, only $1, and it's quite easy to find the link for it. Trust me on that one. Let that cool down. Let that cool down, because for those of you who don't know, temperature can actually influence flavor and texture. So we're going to give that a few minutes to cool down, get to room temperature, and then try it and judge based on that. But fresh off the stovetop hot, it's a solid 10 out of 10, baby. The next subject I want to talk about, guys, ladies and gentlemen, next subject here. So, did you guys hear that Elon Musk is starting a brand new political party here in the U.S.? Yeah. Only it took till 2025 for us to finally get a new political party. But my question is this, right? We have the elephant and we have a donkey representing our two political parties, right? And those are pretty appropriate animals, right? Because one party just spews so much shit out of their mouths, they're like a bunch of elephant assholes that are alive and walking around. And the other party has so many jackasses in it, they might as well be a bunch of donkeys. So what the hell is Elon Musk's fucking Tea Party gonna be, you know? Are they just gonna be represented by the square root of pi? Or the symbol for square rooting? They're going to call themselves the Rooting Party? Fuck if I know. What I do know is, I'm praying he doesn't do something stupid, like pick the eagle as their symbol. And I say stupid, right? It's not stupid. Eagles are awesome, right? But it's so basic, right? You know, it's so fucking basic. Gotta pick an animal that represents your party, Elon, right? Maybe like an octopus, something that could actually use the nerve link, you know? Something similar to us in intelligence, right? Because obviously, you want to have a party symbol that'll be able to utilize all aspects of the party. I can imagine this party is really going to push for AI technologies and brain chip technologies and shit. Pleasant little interruption, but we're happy. That being said, yeah, Elon, if you wanted some animal suggestions from me about what animals to use for your new third-party symbol, I got a couple of different options. You know, the giraffe is a very good symbol for the American people. It symbolizes just how much the government seems to like to thoroughly throat fuck us with all these fucking taxes and all that shit. I mean, you could choose that for symbolism. Maybe you could choose a snake, because most politicians stab us in the back like a bunch of dirty rats. Or maybe, hear me out, we choose an animal that's just as American as the bald eagle, the American bison. Can we not get some American bison respect on my American bison friends? And I know we got some American bison that are out there watching right now. And if you think I'm joking, no, I'm not kidding you. There's actually an American bison farmer who, like, legitimately will sit down with some of his prized bison and, like, watch me on live stream and shit. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. I met him before a long time ago. I'm pretty sure he still watches, too. I still see his screen name pop up in chat sometimes. Good guy, good guy. I met him in person, seen his bison in person. Lovely animals. Save the rest for the cold start.
Boy donated $1. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, boy. How we doing, man? How we doing? How we doing? That being said, TTS is currently active. It's $1 to use, as you guys can see. Modernistic, simple, and quick and easy, you know? And yeah, like I was saying, bison are fucking amazing, majestic creatures, and, well, there's some viewers on my show. Hey, buddy. That being said, honestly, another option for us for a creature for the third-party symbol for Elon Musk's magical party, I gotta quit tapping the table so much. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize. That's a very bad habit I have, where I tap a lot. I'll tap tables, I'll clap, or I'll let tap and shit. It is a
Two
habit that I'm
boyos
trying to
donated
strike.
$1. Good.
Good.
Hell yeah, good, my friend. Good indeed. That being said, of course, I do apologize if I do tap a lot. It is a nervous tick that I have. Still trying to break it from my childhood, you know? That being said, let me pull up my next subject here, right? I think we've gone on enough about these other party animals we could use, right? So, let's talk about another thing that's a little bit more personal, right? Another personal thing that's a bit more ranty, right? For those of you who don't know, I'm really into diving, right? Really into diving, underwater diving, if you're wondering, scuba diving type shit. And I want to get certified eventually, right? And I found out there's some classes that are in town, and it's like $500 to do. I gotta save up the cash to do it, but I would love to get diving certified. Just so I can start doing some diving and doing underwater photography, because it's something that's always had my attention growing up, right? And I do have to say, right, as much as I love diving, and I talk about being afraid of submarines, I'm not completely unafraid of what's out there, right? I fully understand there are creatures out there that could royally fuck me up without a second thought. We're going to talk about 3 creatures, just real quickly, off the top of my head, 3 creatures that terrify
Two
me.
boyos has just tipped $3. Can I scuba dive with Elmo Fiddy? How much does it cost?
Well, scuba diving, right, it depends, right? If you're getting certified Because what I want to do diving-wise is eventually be able to do things that are above 100 meters, right? So, to give you guys an understanding, I'll give you guys a quick crash course in diving so you can understand why I want to get certified. Because you don't have to be certified to go scuba diving, right? But there is an immense level of readiness that getting certified gives you. And there is so many options for work that become available to you when you actually get certified. You can start doing things like doing waterway surveying and things like that. Quit tapping the table, big guy. Keep doing that. You gotta catch yourself on it. You gotta catch it before you do it, because otherwise there's no fucking point in catching it. That being said, so when you're diving, typically you have just straight up oxygen in your tank, right? But if you're going to a depth greater than 100 meters, then you actually have to breathe in a mixture, I think it's of, it's either helium or nitrogen that they have. I gotta get reminded because it's been a minute since I've seen the more technical chemical compound type of thing, right? But when you get past 100 meters, you have to mix in a lighter gas with your oxygen. And that's because down at extreme depths, you have a lot of pressure pushing on you, and oxygen becomes a lot harder to push through your body. So you have to mix in those lighter gases when you get to those depths so you can actually process the oxygen. Failure to go down there to the depths with the proper setup, you can get, nitrogen narcosis, which essentially you get into a very drunken state, and you get delirious, confused. A lot of people will pull their respirators out of their mouths just thinking that they're above the water, because it's a very dangerous thing. So I want to get certified so that I'm ready if a situation happens, like I'm out in the ocean and a rip current rips me under, right? Big thing you have to remember when you get ripped under 100 meters, not only to survive, you need to breathe in that mixed oxygen mixture, you also have to take it slow coming up because you get what's called the bends, right? Some of you guys might have heard it, but basically what the bends are is you've come up too quickly, and now the pressure difference from where you were at your max depth to shooting up to where you are now, it basically makes us all those gases in your body just start expanding. And you essentially actually expand outward. You essentially boil/expand to death. If you do it too quickly. It's not always deadly, right? Usually you just walk away with some headache, swelling. Maybe you need to spend a few days off your feet. Maybe you do need to go seek medical attention, but you're never in for more than a day or two. But if you are going to those depths and you're in there for long periods of times, you have to go into diving bells, which are basically giant pressure chambers that you end up staying like a full day in to reacclimate your body to the pressures of above. That being said, as I was saying, there are 3 sea creatures that do genuinely terrify
Two
the shit out
boyos
of me.
donated $1. I would only scuba dive with you, Lord Phidias.
I love you, brother, because I'm telling you right now, we would have such a good time on a scuba dive, trust me. That being said, though, there are 3 creatures that terrify me, and that's the Cayman Crocodile, which is like the biggest, or the saltwater Cayman Crocodile, right? Saltwater, specifically, right? Biggest species of croc on Earth, most vicious, and they just exist in the open ocean. They just exist. Quit tapping the table, you fat fuck. Remember that. Lightly put your hand down. Don't. I know you want to. It's very tempting. Make like Doug Dimmadome and just... But you gotta make sure to catch yourself. That being said, big mean motherfuckers that, they'll just appear out in the middle of the fucking ocean. You'll just be sitting there taking photos and just thinking, next thing you know, oh, you're here, swimming death. Please don't notice me. The second thing that scares the absolute piss out of me in the ocean is sea snakes. Sea snakes are, number one, they're highly venomous, right? Number two, there are so many fucking species of sea snake that we technically don't even have them all identified yet. Meaning, there's no proper anti-venom for these things. And number three, their fangs are like needles, right? So you might not even feel when you've been bit. That's how, like, dangerous they are. And some of their venoms are mild, and you might get bit, and you might just feel sick for a bit. like a garter snake venom or like a hognose. And, you know, it's a tough thing. Sea snakes, you know what I'm saying? You don't know all species names. They're not easy to capture. They're not easy to photograph right away. And again, because we don't have an anti-venom for them, because their venomations can be so vastly different, you could go from just feeling like you got the flu for a few days to losing your arms, legs, and your life, you know? It's a terrifying thing to think about running into it. And speaking of sea snakes, right? Chat, I got a challenge for you guys right now. While you're sitting there watching this, challenge you right now to say sea snakes 5 times. Super fast. Sea snake, 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 sea snake. I think I said it a bunch more times, right? But, it's funny, you know what I'm saying? But that being said, like I said, quit tapping the table, you fucking retard. That being said, as I said, very dangerous snakes, not always intentional. The teeth are like hypodermic needles. You don't always notice them. You're not always going to notice when you get bit. Finally, the final creature, and the one that genuinely scares the piss out of me, right? This is one that genuinely is the only creature that has ever made me think twice about my love for scuba diving and, you know, the deep sea diving part of things and wanting to photograph sea life and shit. And that's the Humbult Squid. The Humbult Squid. If you don't know about these creatures, they have been known to actively target divers and attack them. Typically, you got, you know, 2 to 4 of them attacking you at once. And if they actually full on attack you and really put the work in, they will start dragging you deeper and deeper. And they're smart. They're smart. If they legitimately want to kill you, it'll be one, dragging you deeper and deeper without you knowing it, because at first it'll just look playful playing with your flipper, but you won't even realize that it's pulling you deeper, because you technically don't realize when you are getting pulled too deep, unless it's a very fast and rapid descent. And then typically, once they get you to a certain depth, 2 of them will come out from the sides. One will try to work your face mask off, one will try to work your rebreather off. And it is the only creature that I have encountered in my research of the ocean and in my desire to scuba dive. It is the one creature that I have ever encountered that I've said, you know, I hope I never have to fucking see you in real life. Ever. Like, ever. Because if I do, I hope I have an EMP grenade on me or something. I just pull the pin. We're all getting shocked, motherfucker. Yeah, you ain't just taking me out. We're all being just come out tonight, bitch. If I'm going out, I'm taking them with me. That's my motto, right? That being said, a lot of these sea creatures will leave you the fuck alone, obviously, if you don't fuck with them. You don't actively go be a threat to them, they're going to leave you the fuck alone, but Humboldt squids are the ones that I worry about the most, right? Humboldt squids. Some people might say, oh, lionfish are a pain in the ass. Keep an eye out, keep your distance, keep a spear on you or a spear gun. Most lionfish you keep at a distance, they fuck off, they leave you alone. Sharks, honestly, if you get into a shark's mouth, you just go for the gills, go for the eyes. They'll leave you alone, right? But when it comes to fucking Humboldt squids, man, it's just honestly terrifying to imagine being in the middle of the fucking ocean where the depths reach miles deep. You've got no one around you to protect you, no boat to go to, nothing. Ugh. It's got to be a very terrifying experience, man. Happy face. That's what I have. That being said, yeah, those are the 3 creatures that legitimately make me nervous in the water. And you guys learning of these creatures, I hope it doesn't deter you from wanting to give scuba diving a try. Because again, right, it's such a vast area. It's like the likelihood of being thrown into space and hitting an asteroid, right? It's possible. Happens. It's not like super duper rare. But what's going to be more rare is actually getting to that asteroid. the ocean is so vast, deep, and so quantified. It's pretty hard to run into shit. You know, it's surprising. It's hard to run into shit, you know? Surprisingly, a lot of places for sea life to hide in. Of course, one of the reasons that I brought up the crocodiles, right, is I want to talk about Alligator Alcatraz. This apparent super detention facility Trump is in the process of making or whatever. And I'm going to say three things on it, all right? On a construction and economic standpoint, right? So let me clarify this, right? The following I'm about to say is looking at it purely from a construction and economic standpoint. It is a fucking genius idea to put a detention center in the middle of Alligator Alley. Because motherfucker, I don't know what retard is stupid enough to jump those prison walls to want to go brave the pythons, the venomous snakes, the venomous spiders, the alligators, the occasional crocodiles you fucking find. Oh, and did I forget to mention, apparently there has been a small current, pocket of king cobras, like a breeding population of king cobras in a small section of Florida. So soon enough, in the next 10 years, we're going to have a thriving king cobra population down there. So now not only are you dealing with the gators, the crocodiles, the fucking rattlesnakes, the fucking water moccasins, you got to deal with the fucking mountain lions and shit like that live out there. You deal with the mosquitoes, and you got to deal with the rednecks out there that are secretly making a bunch of shine. Soon enough, you're going to have to worry about king cobras. Like, do you guys realize that, right? You guys, like, and again, I'm looking at this purely from an economic standpoint, right? An economic and a construction standpoint. It is absolutely genius where they have chosen to build this because it is naturally fortified, naturally defended. And I think it's pretty natural that it doesn't matter what language you speak. You see chomping jaws coming at you, you run the fuck back to solid fucking ground and you get to the fucking high ground. And if you make the fucking place the only high ground available, what are you gonna do? Oh, you want to run into a tree? Fun fact, alligators and crocodiles can climb. Damn it, quit tapping the table, damn it. I hate that I notice it after I tap, right? I've got to get better at that. But, yeah, alligators and crocodiles can climb trees. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that. That's a thing. Yes, they can climb. They can climb. They can fucking climb. So if you literally make that building the only bit of civilization for like 20 miles, yeah, no one's getting out of there alive. And honestly, right, there needs to be a new law put in place that if you do make it out of that swamp alive, you just get your card. Homie, at that point, you done risked a bunch of giant constrictor snakes, a bunch of gators, a bunch of crocodiles, a bunch of venomous animals, and a bunch of people likely hunting you down. Like, yeah, at that point, okay, buddy, you survive bullets, venomous animals, dangerous animals. Here's your fucking green card, buddy. Here's your green card. Just go get a fucking job. Just go get a job, pay your taxes, get the fuck out of my face. That's how I do it. Literally, anyone who got caught escaping, it wouldn't be, oh, take them back. No, it'd be, okay, take them over to immigration. Let's bring an officer with them, explain the situation, get them their expedited thing, give them a fucking card, send them on their way. Because it would cost the American people more money just to send them back. You know, it'd cost way more money to send them back than it would be at that point to say, okay, you've braved the worst of the worst elements you could possibly face in this place with no help. So we might as well just give it to you, you know? At that point, you know? You've been through enough. It's fucking nuts. We can go about this smart, make money off the tax money, you know? But instead we're playing stupid here. Now, looking at it from a human rights standpoint, again, I don't know if I'm necessarily against the idea of putting a detention center in the area. It's dangerous, yes, but
Two boyos donated $1. Am getting scared and sad. Can we talk about waifus or REX fatty content or something pretty please?
Sure. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Fuck it. We'll say one final thing about Alligator Alcatraz, and it is this. Economically, it's smart. When it comes to how people are gonna feel going there, it's gonna fucking suck. Do I feel for anyone going there? Yeah. But economically, it's a smart move to put it in the area it's in. That being said, let's move on to some future content that we'll be working on slowly. We're going to briefly mention some stuff I've been working on and some stuff that I'm hoping to get going here soon enough. A few things that I have, some stuff that I still have some stuff to work on in the background. I said stuff a lot, right? That's probably got to be... I got to quit tapping. Damn, I keep dropping the phone. I keep fucking tapping the table. I had to catch myself better at it. Before I go any further, right? Before I go any further, allow me to say one thing. Whether you see this Alligator Alcatraz facility as some sort of smart investment or not, one thing that no one can argue is that a smart investment to make is investing in a TTS. It's only $1. Links to find it are not hard to get at all. It's not some exclusive Illuminati club where we have some sort of super mega level strip club. No, this is just a fun club for all of us fans to join up together and chit chat, do all the fun stuff. That being said, what was I gonna bring up?
Two boyos donated $1. Tap away, my lord.
Well, I appreciate you saying that and understanding that it is kind of a nervous tick and autistic kind of thing, whatever, when I tap. But it is something I do need to work on because it does come through on the mic and it does become annoying as fuck. So it is something we are trying to do. Why don't we talk about, anyhow, right? I gotta. Sometimes my brain thinks real fast when I'm talking about shit. I don't slow down. So let's take a moment, all right? Back on the topic of content, right? Back on the subject of content. Currently, we are kind of working on script work and getting ready for another episode of Chris. I've got one that I've been kind of working on for a minute that I'm kind of hammering out some of the details. I don't like how it looks currently. Script-wise, but that's just because it's a first draft. It's not really the final product, but we do have a Chris episode we are working on. We're also kind of plotting some Star Wars stuff. The Star Wars content has been a little difficult to do. The crew, specifically, that would work on the Star Wars stuff is a little spread out across the U.S. at the moment. So it's been difficult to get everyone together at the same time to get that filmed. However, we are still trying to plot some stuff out and hopefully get something to you guys here soon, right? And I don't want to give an exact date because it's one of those things we like to take our time with. We like taking our time with the Chris episodes. We like taking our time with the Star Wars episodes because we want those to be good and special and it's something great for you guys. It's something that we hope it's good enough that you would say, yeah, I would totally share that on my timeline. I would totally tell people, here's a link to something fucking cool to check out, So we do take some extra time with those, but we are working on those in particular. And then I know some of you guys used to really love the stop motion stuff. And something I'm going to start doing is I'm going to do a stop motion project a year. I'm going to attempt to make a goal for myself, right? And we're going to make a stop motion project, one a year. It'll be at least a 10-minute film, completely done in stop motion. I know some of you guys are like, oh, one a year. Well, yeah, because stop motion is extremely time consuming. It's one of the most inefficient ways of animating ever. And when I tried to rush it before, I didn't have passion behind it. So when I would do the Shattered Mind Made stuff, I would feel complete but incomplete, right? The episodes look good, But I know if I would have spent months on those scenes, a little more time, you know, shit would have been a cleaner, crisper pace and everything, right? But I will be working on, for the next year, a project. And it'll be a once-a-year type of release, like the Godzilla for the Godzilla versus Gigan Rex and such. How that was supposed to be a yearly release, and then Toho fumbled the bag this year. Fumbled the bag. I love you, Toho, but you fumbled the bag this year with your Crystalline Godzilla or whatever it's called. That being said, there's going to be some more unboxing review type stuff in the future for sure. And then another style of content that I've been trying to work on, and currently it's one of those type of content ideas where we're working on trying to find a sponsor for the content in particular, right? But we are trying to find an RC brand or an RC company that might sponsor a series where we go hiking, bring an RC car, and every time we go hiking, we try to make some sort of cinematic fucking video that makes it look like the car is going through like a trail ride on the very walk we're hiking. So the whole video will go on our walk, find spots to shoot some scenes, shoot the scenes. Like the whole vlog of this would be like the process of making the short film of walking the trail. And then the very end would just be the short film together. And it would literally just be a film of this RC car zipping through this trail as if it was like some sort of mini, like, rally track, you know? I think it could be a lot of fun. We could do a lot of stuff with it, right? But I got to find a company first that'll sponsor us and help us out. If that's something you guys like to see, let us know. Shoot us a TTS, you know, make it heard, you know? But in all seriousness, right, that is something I'd like to get into, and I think once I have that going, it's something I'll be more inclined to do more regularly than my stop motion stuff. Not because it's more fun or because I feel more passion behind it, because it's a bit more easier to produce the content that's going to be good and look nice for you guys. And just so you know, like every purchase, every dime I spend is always going towards the idea of trying to get things that will help the channel out, right? What's something I could pick up that I can make a video on? What's something I could pick up that help me with a cooking video maybe, or help me with fixing something so the videos keep coming out? I'm gonna take this watch off just for now because I'm like moving my hands a lot. If I set my hands down, it ends up doing little taps on the table. And again, I'm not trying to tap too much because again, it's something that my friends actually have to point out, you know? It's one of those like unconscious type of things that you do when you're nervous or you're trying to keep entertaining or something. You just kind of tap. It happens. And it's something that I appreciate my friends pointing out and helping me kind of understand. Because again, right, you go back and rewatch these, you can hear all the tapping and such. And as a content creator, right, I do always try to aim to give you guys good content. That's why, like I said, you know, I'm probably likely, if I were to get that series going, then it would probably be something that I would be a lot more inclined to do regularly than, say, something like stop motion. And again, these aren't set in stone type of things, right? That's a series that I'm still kind of working on, getting a sponsor for, and getting a few things up off the ground for. The stop motion stuff is stuff that I'm just not... it's something that I'll make once a year maybe, but it's not something that I'll make a regular thing, right? It's not something I want it to be a regular thing. It's something to be a complimentary, let's enjoy a little bullshitting type of thing, right? At least that's the intention. That's the intention. So ladies and gentlemen, for those of you out there who are currently watching, I'm going to take a bite of our ramen and review it at room temperature. As I said, temperature can affect your pasta in many ways, texture, flavor-wise. So we're going to taste our pasta we made earlier, our ramen. This is the cheesy ramen, the Daddy Lafon way, you know what I'm saying? With the hot dogs, the cheese, the orange, especially squeezed orange juice. And yeah, should be good, should be good. So let's go ahead, try it cold. Got a bite here with a healthy
Two
amount of
Boyos
noodle.
has just
Meat.
tipped $3. I know I've asked this a lot already, but is it possible to get a full costume Elmo fitty, yellow nose and all?
Can we repeat that one? Because I couldn't understand the last part. I can't tell if it's because I'm stupid or if it's
Two Boyos has just tipped $3. I know I've asked this a lot already, but is it possible to get a full costume Elmo fitty, yellow nose and all?
A full costume Elmo fitty. Outfit and all? What? The nose? Oh my God. You're asking about an Elmo costume in the future. That's something we'd have to look for, likely, right? But we'll probably look for it, you know? That's something we can look into. I can already kind of do the Elmo voice, like the early Elmo. But I think that's something we could do in the future, you know, get an Elmo costume on. Maybe go around Times Square. Find fucking... Oh my God, do you guys remember the news stories? Oh my God, talking about crazy ass news stories, right? Do y'all remember racist Elmo? Apparently that's still a thing that still gets shared around at times. Yeah, racist Elmo is a guy who, it's like famous for going around Jersey, New York, and California dressed in like an Elmo mascot costume. And he just goes around yelling like racial slurs or saying controversial shit. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I tell you that, man. We had racist Elmo. Now let's have fat boy Elmo. Only instead of spewing a bunch of racisms, I'm telling you wrong facts about health. Eating all the cake and ice cream you could possibly want, kids, is healthy. They can't get us mad at me because I'm not spewing a bunch of bullshit racisms. I'm just telling people a bunch of fat people facts. How to put some meat on those bones, you know? Room temperature, this shit gets a solid 8 out of 10. It's pretty solid, but it's not as good as fresh. I'm just going to finish this off real quick because this is my dinner, you know? It's actually not bad dinner. It's kind of tasty, you know? I have, as I finish this last couple bites off, right? I have a good question for chat. A really solid question. Are you okay with eating completely manufactured foods? Meaning, it's not a natural food, or maybe it's something that was genetically altered because it needed to be a stronger plant, or produce a higher yield or better flavor. Are you okay, as long as it packs the same nutritional content with a better flavor? Or are you more along the lines of you have to be a natural purist? Me? I'm going to be bluntly honest. We live in a world right now where it is nearly impossible, and I mean this with all the love in the world, impossible to not have eaten some processed shit in your life. I say you need a balance. You need a balance with the manufactured foods and the natural shit, I feel, in order to have a good, healthy life. There's a very good reason. There's a very good reason that Top Ramen is like $3 for a 12-pack, and Yakisoba is like $3 for a single cup. A very good reason. gentlemen, by the way, we will be looking for guests over time. And if you guys want to suggest some guests, TTS is the best way to suggest a guest. By the way, that rhymed, and I did not intend it to. Not one bit, but it did. But it did. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep things going here, all right? First off, if I can grab the bottle of water that I had by my cup real quick and refill this up, that's going to be good. And let's move on to the next subject I have. Let me pull that on up. Again, appreciate our people that helped make this a beautiful production here. All right, let's talk about Labubu's for a moment. Let's talk about Labubu's, right? Labubu's, Lapupus, whatever you call them. La shit stains. The next thing to cause an influx of plastic in the ocean. However you want to say them, right? Labubu's apparently now have a chocolate. And apparently, it's a collaboration between Labubu and some overpriced Dubai chocolate company. Now, far be it from me to judge a person's food.
Two boyos donated $1. TTS is best.
TTS is goddamn the best, you know what I'm saying? That being said, what was I just saying? Oh yeah, the Labubu chocolates. That's right, Labubu chocolates. Anyhow, apparently Labubu, and by the way, here in a moment, I'm gonna do a little diss track on Labubu for you guys, because let me tell you something, I really hate fucking Labubu. I hate him so much so that, hold on, my little friend here, to which I haven't named yet, but I plan to name him later today. Our little buddy here, I'm gonna pull him off for a moment, so that he doesn't get burnt when it comes to this, okay? First off, Labubu is like the trashiest fucking, like, toy on earth. I'm talking Labubu is the type of knickknack you find in your trashy trailer park granny's house that she keeps around as a tchotchke that everyone's like set it on fire, but they are hard set on those being very valuable items, right? Well, apparently they partnered with a Dubai chocolate company, and they're that company that make that chocolate that looks like hair and grass and shit and looks to be a little bit of piss mixed together into like a mulch. It's put in the middle of the chocolate. Supposedly it's supposed to be like an ube, like a green version of ube or something. I'm gonna be honest with you, it looks like I'm gonna be honest, the inside of these chocolates look like baby vomit. Like they literally purposely made a baby puke and just shoved their mouth at the edge of the chocolate mold and just went and they're just torturing babies, making them puke into the mold all day. Anyhow, Labubus apparently now have Labubu-shaped chocolates with this company. And I just can't help stop thinking to myself, you know, oh great, the world's most shittiest tasting, shittiest looking, shittiously priced chocolate is now being paired up with the world's shittiest looking, shittiest costing, the world's shittiest fucking fad toy. Ain't that just fucking brilliant? Isn't that what our fucking forefathers died for right there? So your bitch can throw a tizzy tit over a fucking Labubu. By the way, did I forget to tell you? They're keychains, no bigger than your cell phone, that they sell for $100. Yes, keychains, $100. Meanwhile, you can get a custom, nice-ass keychain off of like Etsy for like 10, 15 bucks. Custom made, really like some fucking executive level shit for like 15 bucks max. I used to have a keychain that I got from Etsy, and it was a laser gun. And it made the sound effects, the wee, wee, wee. You know what I'm talking about? That one laser gun that has the same soundboard no matter where you get it from. I'll never forget that one. My mom got that for me, actually. It was a nice little gift. I miss that. I remember taking it to school. I remember taking it to school, and they tried to take it from me, and I made the fucking argument that it was a health gun, and it was supposed to be like a health regen, and I got away with it because it had a red plus near the battery compartment of it, and that's how I fucking got away with it, right? That's how I got to play a toy laser gun to school every day in middle schools, because I had that keychain. Oh, man. A lot of good conversation, you know, but let's freestyle for a second about Labubu, right? Let's give a quick freestyle, all right? No diss track. Because, oh, yeah. I'm going to tell you right now about the shit that smell like poo-poo. Looking like shit, man. It really look like doo-doo. Call itself motherfucking Labubu. Is that how it's supposed to smell? No, it's how it's spelled, dude. It ain't how it's supposed to sniff on a steak. But let me tell you, man, these stupid little toys, they sting. I'm going to tell you right now, they look like something that don't belong inside the world, but yet it's here. I'm going to tell you, man, they're a ripoff of the motherfucker where the wild things come from. Wearing the pajamas, man, and wearing fucking Cabbage Patch dolls. Basically, they're Cabbage Patch doll keychains in where the wild things are costumes, you know. That being said, you know, as much as I hate them, that being said, you know, as much as I hate Labubu, and I really do, right? It makes my stomach curl every time that I think about Labubu. And the worst part is, right, if you want to get in the dating scene, you kind of have to buy a bitch a Labubu. So you can't even not see a fucking Labubu. Alright? You can't not see a fucking Labubu somewhere, right? But they do pay good money. And I should know. Because we are doing a Labubu collab coming soon. We're doing a line of 4 dolls.
2 boyos donated $1. Fucking Fire King.
Damn right. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, that being said, as I stated,
Fatty the Goat has just tipped $5. Balloon time, balloon time. It's balloon time. Love you, bro. Keep up the weight loss. Your mom would be proud. Red heart emoji.
Love you too, red heart emoji. It's a good day. It's a good day. That being said, before I got sidetracked there by that beautiful lover right there, me and Labubu are doing a collab. There's going to be an Airsoft Fatty collection of 4 dolls. We need names for them, right? We need names for these dolls. We need names for the line. Because let me tell you something. TTS currently is on. And if you want to suggest, you know, a name, or you want to throw something out there, right? Well, TTS is the way you go about it. You know what I'm saying? Having some fun with the balloons for a second. But, that's how you can go about it. It's going to be a collection of 4 dolls. It's going to be quite interesting, right? And that's how we were able to afford this guy right here. You think these puppets are cheap? These neck puppets, which are 1-to-1 scale accurate to the fucking show? These are not cheap, man. These are expensive as fuck. Okay? These are expensive as shit, all right? You want to know how we afforded this bitch? Thanks to our Labubu collab. They paid us out today for our initial payment. And let's just say, I got that guap, baby, woo! That being said, look, all right? We need help getting names for these Labubus, right? A, we need a name for the line, and B, we need a name for each individual Labubu. Now, I cannot show you the mock-ups just yet because I'd get in legal trouble. But what I can tell you guys is that they are based on 4 specific scenes from my time here on YouTube and Twitch, all right? The first one, of course, is a Labubu based on my original big video where I fell over the trash can. It's going to be wearing like a pair of shorts and have the stupid little Where the Wild Things costume on. You know, it's going to have a lightsaber in its hands. And it's going to come with a vacuum cleaner prop to fall over. And then the second one is a Chef Fatty Labubu. It's going to be me in like a Chef Boyardee type outfit. Again, with the Where the Wild Things are underneath. Number 3 is going to be Airsofting Labubu Fatty, which is where it's going to be me in my old airsofting getup as a Labubu. And then finally, there is Fishy Labubu Fatty, which is going to be a Labubu, which is going to have a fish tank on the head, as a reference to fish tank. And it's going to come with skin-colored shirt and shorts over its costume, as a reference to probably one of my more famous, well, infamous, I should say, bits from the show. But that's our 4 Labubu collection so far. And we do need help coming up with names for each doll. And we need help coming up with a name for the line. Y'all know now that we have a TTS. Finding the link to said TTS, not all that hard to do. Just keep looking for it, you know what I'm saying? That being said, let's take us a drink. But that being said, look, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Hey, buddy, how you doing? Ladies and gentlemen, we all know I'm a fairly peaceful guy. I don't like war. The one thing I need to know right now, especially tonight, who here has the most love, right? That being said, in chat right now, if you are watching on YouTube, use the emoji that is the flame. Whether it's the basic regular orange and red flame, or orange flame, that is how you'll indicate if you are sending your energy from YouTube. Purple or blue flames will be representative of Twitch. Depending on your platform, guys, this is me creating the spirit bomb, and I need your guys' energy. Can y'all do that for me? Can y'all send it to me? We need a huge influx of fire, I'm telling you. If any of you guys want to send it through a TTS, that might even give us more power. Might end up doubling your output. Might double your output per flame, you know? That being said, we need that bad boy. We need that fire. Oh, yes, we do. You're such a good guy, you know that. Yeah, I'm not even joking. So these, like, little wooden puppets that you wear for, like, cosplay type shit, they are not fucking cheap, man. I tell you what. And Labubu, we got lucky Labubu wanted to do a little collab, you know? And if you're wondering when this Labubu collab is going to be coming out, guys, it's probably going to be here in the next, like, 2 to 3 weeks. In the next 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to have our drop, and it's going to be awesome. But we need to see all those flames, ladies and gentlemen. If you're over on Twitch, we need purple and blue flames. If you're on YouTube, we need orange flames, fire flames, you know. We want to see where you're watching from. We want to see what energy we're getting tonight. What color is my spirit bomb going to be? Is it going to be a bright orange or purple? Ah, man. You know? But I got to know, right? I got to know what color is my spirit bomb. And then as you guys are throwing your flames out, burning this place up, I got another question for you guys. Another war to start, okay? I'm gonna... God damn it. I hate how my nose gets sometimes. I don't want to start another war, but we got to, right? What's better, Sprite or Starry? Sprite or Starry? Sprite or Starry? Because you see, that's an important question. Very important question. I find myself more a fan of Sprite. More of a fan of Sprite. And if you guys want another, like, really good tip for Sprite and such, make yourself a cup of Sprite. Do 3/4 Sprite, 1/4 of the cup lemonade. You won't ever fucking regret it. Trust me. Holy fuck. And if you want it more lemonade-y than Spritey, you just switch the fucking ratio. I'm telling you, it's amazing. Amazing shit. Okay? And then after we've figured out what's better, which is going to be Starry or Sprite, now comes the big question. What's better? Burger King or McDonald's? I'm going to be honest with you guys. Okay? This is going to sound controversial, right? But I'm a Burger King guy. I prefer Burger King. My go-to order, 2 Whoppers, just ketchup, a large fry, 10-piece nugget. Boom, that's my go-to order. Throw a couple of nuggets on, throw a handful of fries on each burger. Boom! Protein, fiber, great carbs, boom. Perfect 2 sandwiches. That being said, abracadabra, alakatits. I must remind you that TTS is on, bitch. That's the best way I could have pulled it. I could not have thought of another way to make a spell out of that. Trying to be like a hex girl from Scooby-Doo, you know? 'Cause I'm trying to put a spell on you. I'm gonna make you do what I want you to. I get up in the middle of the night. Now that we know that it's out of sight. What? Whoa! Ladies and gentlemen, we just got informed. We got a beautiful raid that came in from Windbag. So hello to our new viewers, and allow me to explain. Hey, little buddy, give me a moment. I'll put you back on my neck. Just give me a moment to let it chill out, okay, bud? Allow me to explain what's going on here. We are here with Lafon. It is a fun little talk show we like to do where we have TTS on. People can give us their thoughts and their ideas and such. And we talk about random shit that's going on either with our channel on YouTube or with life in general, or we talk about some of the shit we see online. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, yes. Ola Boo Boo and Airsoft Fabby will be doing a collab pretty soon, and it's going to be a nice one. And we'll actually be releasing alongside the collab with Hatutse Minamiku and everything else, man. So, I just got our results for our war, right? And so far for our war, YouTube's carrying the W with all the fire they've been putting out. Sprite has the W in the votes. And McDonald's seems to be the preferred way to go for you guys. And I don't blame you, because McDonald's really is like crack. But that's my problem. McDonald's is like crack. And Burger King, it's like a really nice, fresh, juicy peach. You know? So I prefer that juicy peach over crack, you know? Crack rock cocaine is a lot of people's choice, apparently, you know? But look, man, I'm not going to judge you guys for what you want to eat, right? At the end of the day, what you want to eat is what you want to eat, right? That being said, just understand that McDonald's is fake as shit. So is Burger King, you know? Burger King, Wendy's, all these people are fake as shit, really. The only restaurant I think that's mass chain that's fucking serving real food has got to be White Castle, Arby's, and maybe Qdoba, right? Maybe Qdoba. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Qdoba. Come to think of it, right? Let's talk for a second, right? So, back when I first started taking my weight serious, right, or at least more seriously, it would have been around 2016, 2017, right? And our town had just gotten like a Qdoba, and we had just gotten a Chipotle, right? And so I started getting like 2 burritos a day to live off of. And for a while it helped out. It got me down from 5'11" to like 430, 420 pounds for a long time. And then I re-ballooned up for a while after getting depressed. But something that those burritos have taught me is that protein and fiber are key in weight loss. And I have come to find in recent times that I love working with fresh beans, right? I have been working with a lot of lima, pinto, and kidney beans, right? Fresh ones. It turns out making homemade baked beans is not all that hard, and it tastes a shit ton better when you do it at home. Trust me. That being said, we have come a very long way in all of the years of work that we have put in to lose weight. We've lost over 250 pounds in total, right? And we're not even done, right? We're not going to be done until we hit about 200 pounds. And then it's just going to be about managing that weight. But I don't know, it's just crazy, right? The journey we've been on. We've gone from being this fat, nervous, autistic kid who falls over trash cans and shits themselves doing so, to performing on stages like Rolling Loud and Summer Smash and inspiring so many people that I never would have thought I'd been able to. And I guess if I could take a moment to be a little sappy for a second, like thank you guys for always being there for you, boy, you know? Back when I first started doing all this, I never expected I'd come to a point where I would be sitting here on Late Night Talk Show talking with you guys and just kind of rambling on about shit, you know? Growing up, I never expected to cultivate an audience or become this, what I've become. And I just want to take a second to thank you all. No matter if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch or if you're watching somewhere else, just know we deeply appreciate you. But yeah, and the whole crew. We love you guys. We hope that you guys will keep tuning in. Because that's our thing, man. That's what we do. That being said, thank you to everyone who's had support for me over the years of the weight loss. I know there's a lot of times where it's fairly easy to give up on whether I was going to lose weight or not. I don't blame the people who did. It took me nearly 30 years to figure it out. But here I am, 29 years old, finally on the right path. Took me 30 years of shoveling food down my throat to finally realize how to fucking fix this shit. But we're on the right path. And that's all that fucking matters. That's all that motherfucking
Two boyos
matters.
donated $1. Get in sappy with it. We love you, me brother.
We love you guys, bro. We love you guys. For real. We love when you guys tune in, man. That being said, I'm going to stand up for a quick second. The ass is a little sore. Y'all going to understand my ass kind of sits weird in some chairs. Just taking a second here. Stand up. Get some blood flow to the legs. Now let's talk for a moment. As I do. Let's talk about fashion. Let's talk about fashion. We're good here. Talk about fashion in some of these fashion shows, okay? Excuse me. For instance, right? For instance, there are fashion shows out there that make no goddamn sense. You know? What's that one that they have every year that's like super huge, the gala or whatever? The Met Gala? Tell me why those outfits just look stupider and stupider every fucking year. Like, I fully expect this year Kanye West to just walk in with a bear. Where the fuck is the sleeve to this? There it is. I fully expect Kanye West to walk into the Met Gala just wearing a fucking, like, wooden barrel. Like you see in in medieval RPGs when you have no gear. And they just stick you in a fucking barrel for an outfit. Fully expect it, you know? As is, last time he was at the show, he had a fucking curtain being dragged around with him to hide him from everyone. By the way, is it the point of those shows to go and be seen Kanye? Why are we hiding like a little chicken-pissed bitch? Like, you're hiding like a rooster done came up into your room, pissed in all your fucking clothes, took a shit and said, hey, this is what you're wearing. Well, look, enough talking shit on the gala, right? Because it is what it is. Fashion's not my modus of operandi, right? Did I thought I packed something over here, but I don't think I did. But and fashion's not my modus of operandi, right? I'm not a beautiful person per se when it comes to my style, right? I'm beautiful in my face and my eyes, but not my style, right? That being said, what is another topic I have here? No more shoes. Okay, so I can't remember if I spoke about this a couple days ago when we first started doing this. I'm going to bring it up here for a moment, just a brief moment, right? But apparently, we no longer have to wear shoes through we no longer have to take our shoes off at TSA, right? At least that's according to some news reports. I'm going to be honest, right? That's, kind of nice, kind of cool. But what about that list, right? about that list, government, you know? You're so worried about telling us we don't have to take our shoes off at TSA anymore, to which I like it, but also if we're worried about security, how many people are hiding stilettos in their shoes and knives in their shoes and such, right? Part of me was like, it was kind of a necessary evil, but at the same time, like, we have scanning technology that's so much better these days that it probably has become unnecessary at this point. But at the same time, you know, just like how talking kind of, you know, we forget that the TTS is on and it's active and it's only $1, but we also have a tendency to, well, I'm going to say it like this. The government has a tendency to put bullshit stories in our faces to hide the good ones from us, right? Or how about another news story that feels like another thing to cover something up? And that's the recent story that apparently Trump has fired 6 of his Secret Service staff members who were, like, part of his defense. What? Again, these are stories that feel like they're covering something bigger. But you know what? We aren't going to waste our time being some sort of fucking theorist, right? What I will say is this. Fuck politics. Fuck the news. Fuck all that shit. Let's all live and be happy. You know what I'm saying? For instance, right, I have some news that I really want to talk about, and that's Star Wars, right? Star Wars is something that I've recently found some new love in, right? Found some new love in. Been looking into some of the newer comics, right? Because I stopped reading the comics a little bit after, what was the fucking Vader comic? It wasn't the issue where Jocasta Nu used the rifle, right? But it was a couple of issues after that, in the Vader comic, that I had stopped reading a lot of the newer comics, right? And simply put, the reason I had stopped is it just wasn't because of, you know, it just wasn't my thing, right? But now, one second here. But now, I've come to a point where Star Wars is starting to get interesting again. You know, it's starting to get really interesting. I have come to really appreciate some of the characters that they are pulling from the old canon and bringing them into new. And I've started kind of taking time to watch some of the newer stuff. I'm not going to act like I've seen enough of it to really form much of an opinion on the new stuff just yet. But, you know, I've been looking at scenes, watching scenes here and there. Slowly, I've become more and more of a fan of the newer stuff. I think it looks pretty, for damn sure. But Star Wars in general, right, has just kind of grown and evolved into something new. And you know it's another series that you look at and you don't think it's had as many films and shows as Star Wars has, right? But you'd be surprised. There is a lot of, like, Resident Evil films. Apparently there's been another one that's been released. I haven't heard much about it, so I'm not going to say much on it myself. But apparently another Resident Evil film came out. But did you guys realize that just as many, like, Jurassic Park and Star Wars films and all that, there's just as many, if not more, Resident Evil films? There were some years we had, like, 2 Resident Evil films in a year. You guys realize how crazy that is? And Resident Evil has only been around since what? 1994, 95? Right, PS1, 94, 95? Pretty sure Resident Evil was 97. Resident Evil 2 was 97. So 94, 95 for number 1, I think. Either way, right? Just how the fuck do they have so many movies? You know, the video games, it makes sense. It's easier to set up a sequel with a video game, right? Very easy. But when it comes to a movie, right? I mean, sure, right? Movies are easy to set up sequels to, too. But to do it proper and to have it go on for well over 10 films is a lot. You know what I'm saying? But you know what's another thing that it's caught my attention lately, and it's something where I'm interested by it, I'm freaked out a little bit by it, all right? And that's these, I don't know if you guys watch stupid short content, right? But they have these Bigfoot AI videos where it's supposed to be like Bigfoot vlogging his life, right? Him and Sasquatch, him with every baddie he hooks up with and shit, right? And honestly, right, I love it. I love how unhinged they are. I love these fucking Sasquatch vlogs, the Yeti vlogs, the Bigfoot vlogs. I love it, right? But, excuse me. Something I will admit is that these vlogs are getting like scarily good in quality. And I'm talking visual quality, like to a point where you almost can't even tell they're not real. It's crazy. They're funny. They're really funny. And the reason that I say I should probably not be as intrigued or interested with them, but more terrified, is like, people like to argue that, you know, as a content creator, AI is going to replace you, but I don't feel like it is. I feel like AI is never going to replace true content creators, because content creators have the ability to reach into the void and come up with something new. AI can only create things based on what's already been out there, right? It can only create things based on what's already out there. So I feel like as a content creator, it's going to make the job harder, especially when it comes to getting the eyes. But I feel like it's something that I can compete with. As long as I keep being genuine, real, open, honest, put myself out there, right? As long as I'm genuinely flesh and blood me, you're going to have a reason to come back. Because anyone could produce an AI video, right? Anyone could sit there and tell an AI, give me a video of, a Sasquatch making a quiche quinoa salad while humming the national anthem and juggling flaming chainsaws. It'll give it to you. It'll give it to you without a doubt. But you're not going to be able to get it creating something brand new. You can't tell an AI, tell me a brand new story with brand new concepts, brand new ideas. You can't pull from any internet source to make this. It's got to be a creation of your own. It'll never do that. Never. That is why content creators like myself are going to become a lot more valuable. Think about that for a moment. Did the priest and the preacher become devalued when the Holy Bible was released on paper and made easier for the mass? No. The preacher and the priest became a more revered, more loved figure in the community. The AI is no more than just the Bible. It's stories that are there, but it's built on what's already there, you know? You know what? Something else is already there, though. And it's something that I want to remind you guys of. It's been there for you this whole time. And it helps you guys enjoy a better experience in these. That's right. TTS. TTS is currently active, and for $1, you guys can verbally be heard through a speaker here in the studio. So if you guys want to send us a little message, or you want us to touch on a subject, well, TTS, baby. That's how we do it. That being said, can we just talk about something in particular that really, it's something that when you step out and you see, you can't help but take a deep breath and just kind of go, I love reality. Well, allow me to explain. I happen to live in a spot where I can step outside and see a perfectly clear night sky in the middle of the night. At midnight, I could count the amount of stars in the sky. But I'll never be able to get to the actual number of stars in the sky that I could see, because it's too fucking many. And that's a good problem to have. It's a good problem when you can look up and you can't count how many stars you see in the sky because there's too fucking many. I live in an amazing spot where the light pollution is basically nothing. And that nightly stepping out to the outhouse to take a piss or shit, or anyhow, let's just say the view is breathtaking every time. It's breathtaking, absolutely. Sucks out your lungs like a vacuum cleaner. Like that, you know what I'm saying? But no joke, right? I'm not kidding. I step out there, look out. I can see the Big Dipper perfectly. I see the Little Dipper semi-perfectly. See a lot of the constellations when they're out. It's beautiful. It's lovely. And it's something I appreciate. And honestly, I'd like to make a petition to start a national day or a night of lights out. Right? We want to start a national day of night of lights out. Well, once a night, one night per year, the world gets together, and at night, you turn all your lights off. And allow people to step out onto their porches and see space. And re-inspire a lot of people to have that love and that wonder again. You know what I'm saying? It's like being reminded of TTS and how it's active and only $1 and easy way to get your voice heard. It's a lot like listening to music, right? Things like dust in the wind, 'cause all we are is dust in the wind. 'Cause take me home, far beyond the moment before the moment's gone. 'Cause dust in the wind. You know what I'm saying? Or, what's another really, really good classic, right? Another really good one. Alright, how about this one? Cause when you told me you were drowning, I did not lend a hand. And I've seen your face before, my friend. And I don't know if you know who I am. Well, I was there and I know what you did. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. So you can wipe off that grin. I know where you've been. It's all... excuse me. It's all been that gas inside. Burp, 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 fart, fart. I've been feeling it in my tummy in the air tonight. Okay, enough trying to make an upset tummy version of that song, right? You ain't never gonna be able to top good old Phil Collins, you know? By the way, did you guys hear recently Ozzy Osbourne has done his final tour? Like, Ozzy Osbourne is done. No more live shows. And that breaks my heart a little bit, right? I've always wanted to see Crazy Drain performed in person. I said person, right? I didn't say person. Either way, right? I've always wanted to see Ozzy kind of play in person. I wanted to see Crazy Train. One of my favorite songs by his is Patient Number 9, right? And, yeah, it's just such a good fucking song, you know what I'm saying? So that hook is what gets me. Motherfucker. But that hook gets me every time, right? You know, it's, I go something like, when they call your name, better run and hide. Tell you you're insane. You believe their lies. I'm not getting out. No, I'm not getting out alive. No, I'm not getting out, 'cause I'm patient number 9. No fucking joke. I love that song so much. Oh man, I'm telling you guys. I'm just gonna keep doing that every time. Because one of you motherfuckers keeps watching this shit. And when you watch, you guys fucking yawn. I don't know why you're fucking yawning, motherfucker. But you always tune in towards the end and act like an asshole and yawn. And you guys don't realize that yawning is very contagious and travels through the internet waves. It's like a magical smell. It's a pain in the ass to deal with. Stop the fucking yawning. Get a drink of fucking water. I want to try that one again. I was going to try to catch you with the magic one, but okay. Oh, shit. This is one of those motherfucking respirators, brother. This is one of those. This is, oh, shit, hold up. Is this going to fit on my face? Hold up. Actually, hold up. It do. It kind of do. Hold up. It's kind of like a Bane mask in a way, man. It's like the Bane mask. Hold up. Let me see, can I clip this? Hold up, is there... Let me get this put on right, because you want it right to get the voice right. Hold up. How does this go on? Or does it just kind of clip? Okay, so we're just going to kind of pre-clip it real quick. Like so. I didn't realize we had one of these. These things are fucking fun as hell to fuck with. Oh. Is that not how that goes? Or wait. Oh, this is missing. Well, you know, we'll just put it on the regular way then. How about that? How about we just put it on?
We'll just put it on Batman, and we'll find out real loud and quickly whether you actually are born of the darkness. You see, Batman, you were crafted by the darkness. You were brought in as a piece of metal and worked by an anvil. Meanwhile, Batman, I was born in the darkness, born in the mesothelioma, riddled, diseased, trap houses, born in the shadows of the awful nights, where no man or woman dare shine their flashlight. Oh, Batman, you were summoned by a big-ass light in the sky. Meanwhile, Batman, I am summoned with power outages. A lack of electricity and power signals that is where I am needed the most. For you see, Batman, I am an electrician, and I like to fix shit, Batman. You see, the city wants us electricians to be lazy, Batman, but I want us to do our fucking jobs, Batman. Is that such a bad thing? Batman. The Batman, the fat man, the very ugly Batman. Oh my. It seems
that we've gone from Bane. I'm gonna have to remove you for this one, buddy. Come on. I think so. Woo, woo. Have you guide my water? Guide my water with your life. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, got some hair in my lip, but we oink-oinking in this bitch. Oink, oink, oink. Now, firstly, I bet you guys are wondering, right? Why do we have a pig's mask, right? Fuck you, this ain't a pig. Number one, this is an Osuke. And number two, this ain't a fucking pig, this is a boar. Boars are more badass, okay? Boars aren't boring, okay? You know why they call them boars? Because boars and wild hogs bore you to death. Yeah. Big old tusk that'll fuck you up instantly, every day. I'm gonna be honest, the designer of this mask is a fucking idiot. The eye holes are in the fucking nose. I don't know if you guys can tell. Hi! I can see you, hi! Hold up. I'm gonna try to be facially expressive with this mask. Hold up. Ready? Depressed Piggy. Piggy at school. Piggy at the buffet. Piggy real realizing that he fucked up and smacked the table again like a dumbass. Holy shit. Hot piggy, because it's warmer than shit in that mask. Whew. Oh shit. Ba ba da da ba da 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 ba da 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 ba da 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 da. Back in black, face and pass. There I go, you gotta get face, gotta cut loose, loose. And everybody keeps getting me on. I'm trying to sing around and leave a sound. I do my best to try and get loud. I really did spill a bunch of water on that like a dumbass. Well, might as well finish this off so we don't spill any more. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. First up, ladies and gentlemen, first off, I want to ask you guys a quick question, okay? Let me ask you guys a real good quick question. If you guys were given the opportunity to fly to one point in the world, right? To one place and have all your expenses paid for, let's say, a month, right? Where would you go? Because for me, there's a lot of options, right? There's a lot of places I'd love to visit. For those of you wondering which are my top 5 favorite places to want to visit, first off, I want to visit Scotland so I can get me a real Scottish kilt. Like an actual kilt. Because I used to love wearing kilts. I might look into kilts again one day. I don't know. Maybe one day. Maybe not. You know, you never know. But I think definitely I want to go to Scotland. And then at some point I would like to visit Japan. I want to stay at the Godzilla Hotel. I'd also like to visit France. I don't know why. Just something in me says France could be a little bit of fun. Then there's Italy, because I love pasta and pizza. And then finally, I want to go to Germany to get a real good German beer stein. Like a legitimate German beer tankard, beer stein. You know what I'm saying? Beer stein. Budweiser Stein, Alex Stein type shit. But those are my places, right, that I want to visit. Just because, like, I'm interested. I have a reason to want to go. So why the fuck wouldn't I want to go? Right, little buddy? Look, I know you can't talk, but you look like it. You look like you talk. Gotta be honest, the guy that we got this from, too, ladies and gentlemen, is an amazing artist. Not a single fucking seam line on this bad boy. Painted beautifully. Seriously, it is amazing. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? That's what I say. That's what I say. So, let me ask you guys something real quickly, okay? Woo! We almost got taken out by a letter. It looks like one of the C's from the FCC wanted to try and not let me be. But I'm like motherfucking... Is the gold? Wow. It's like holding a chunk of a green screen, but in a C form. That's kind of cool. I ain't gonna lie. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, looks like one of the C's from the FCC wanted to try and not let me be. But let me be me is what I see. Like Eminem. So now I've stolen one of the C's to the FCC. And I was just an FC. Can I wear this? Hold up. Can I actually... No, I haven't lost enough weight. My butt's still too big to try and put on like a tutu. I'm trying to dance with it on, but it's very curvaceous, you know? It's curvy. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, whoo! I hope y'all are doing good, doing dandy, doing well. Allow me to give you guys a bit of karaoke. Ready? A little bit of karaoke. Ready? Whew. Let's go. We're going to do some Katy Perry, okay? We're going to do some Katy Perry. Because in other Labubu news, Katy Perry apparently doesn't like Labubu. And I fuck with that. I fuck with Katy Perry. I like Katy Perry. She's funny. I make a lot of jokes. But Katy Perry, hey, balloon. Katy Perry's actually kind of awesomely funny in a way. I don't know. Distracted by the balloon like a cat. A cat with autism and ADD. Okay, pay attention, right? Pay attention. Apparently she hates Labubu. And she smacked the Labubu doll out of a fan's hand that was trying to give it to her. She was like, get that shit up out of this shit. And you have to admit, right? When Katy Perry doesn't want your hunk of plastic, that's bad. But in all seriousness, right? Katy Perry, huge fan of yours. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll come across each other at a show. We'll say hi, take a photo, whatever. That being said, God, I had so many different categories to talk about tonight with you guys, ladies and gentlemen. One of my favorite things to talk about sometimes is just nature in general. And if you guys want to know some of my favorite animals that you're ever going to find are going to be a lot of reptiles. A lot of reptiles tend to be in my favorites. But birds as well tend to a lot of the times be in my favorite animals. My top 5 favorite animal species. Ranking from number 5 to number 1. Number 5 has to be leopard geckos. Number 4 has to be the balloons. You know what I'm saying, a happy species. Ladies and gentlemen, it's balloon time! We're live with Lafon, ladies and gentlemen. And let me tell you guys something. We have an active TTS currently where you guys can have your voice heard. Trust me, man. It's a good time no matter what. We got balloon time up in this bitch, baby. But look here, all right? Look here, okay? You gotta love Katy Perry, you know? And one of the songs that I know of hers, by heart even, because of middle school choir, is Fireworks. Because, well, do you ever feel like a waste of space, not original, you cannot be replaced? Do you ever feel like a plastic bag floating in the wind, wanting to start again? Do you ever feel buried 6 feet deep, 6 feet under, and no one can hear a thing? You got your balloons, and you're feeling good, and you're feeling so just freaking magical, and feeling good. Just on the nights like the 4th of July, 'cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, let your covers burst. Make them go, as you shoot across the sky, high. 'Cause boom, 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 even brighter than the moon. It's always been inside of you. It's always been inside of you. Oh, not an easy song to do, ladies and gentlemen. We try every time. We try. Because that's just the way life is sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta give it a try, you know? As you always know. You already know. Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. We got tons of things right here. 'Cause we got everything. 'Cause he got all that money, honey. We got everything. 'Cause we're just feeling good, you see. And that's just everything. It's jungle. Welcome to the jungle. Now we sing it. Woo! Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we absolutely love the hell out of you guys, you know? And all of you guys that tune in, it shows us how much you enjoy everything we do and every little thing that we try our best to produce for you guys, you know. That being said, I say that a lot. That's got to become like a new catchphrase, you know what I'm saying? That being said, that's got to become like a new superhero phrase, like up, and away! Maybe we'll invent like a new superhero. Call him That Being Said Man, or something like that, you know? Anytime he says that being said, that being said happens to have something happen, you know? Whew. Yeah, studio puppies barking at the lizard brother. What you doing invading the Lafon Live? You're supposed to be in the Star Wars series. That's what she's saying. I like this color of pink, by the way, that got sprayed. That's fucking cool. It's like a salmon mixed with bubblegum pink. Not exactly bubblegum, not exactly salmon. You know what I'm saying? That being said, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you all are doing good today. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully y'all are having a good time. Whew. Let's get that off. Now, I do want to ask you guys a question, okay? I want to ask you guys something. Has there ever been a specific thing you want to see us do on camera, right? Maybe you want to see us visit a museum or something, right? Maybe you want to see us do some sort of crazy movie type stunt, right? Maybe you want to see us just be us, right? Maybe you want to see that. I don't know. But you know what I will say? What I will say is I think there's a hole in this balloon. I think there is, actually. Hold up. Did I feel that, or was that just me? No, that was just me. Okay, I thought there was a hole in it. And it's just me. That being said, I said that a lot, obviously, right? Ladies and gentlemen, I gotta ask you guys something, all right? Given the opportunity, would you guys, I don't know, be interested in like an art stream at some point? I don't know. I'm trying to come up with different ideas. By the way, shout out and hello to Amanda. How we doing, man? How we doing? We're doing good out there, having a good time, enjoying ourselves tonight, keeping balloons up and the vibes all up and high. I just want to remind everyone that TTSs are $1 and active, turned on, loud as a bitch. We'll hear you loud as clear. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you guys are enjoying the show tonight, enjoying yourselves. Let me just ask you guys something really quickly, all right? Let's say you were given the ability to own one super suit from any superhero. What super suit would you want to own? I'm going to be honest. Give me the Iron Man suit. Give me the strongest, basic version of Iron Man. You want to know why? Because Iron Man, as a suit, is probably one of the most iconic suits you're ever going to find. Some people might scream at me, oh, you could have chose the Guyver suits or a Gundam suit. Shit. You could have chose James Bond's suit. And I say, nay. Those are good suits. Even the Kingsman suit might be a good choice, but to me, the Iron Man suit will always be one of the best suits to get. And that is if we're not counting the Power Ranger suits. Because if so, give me the Zeo Ranger 5 suit. What are you talking about? Give me Zeo Ranger 5. Or give me Zeo Ranger 6's suit. Hands down. That'd be the suit to go for. Power Rangers Zeo team. Ladies and gentlemen, with active TTS on, I want to ask you guys one thing. One beautiful thing. How are we feeling tonight? We doing good? Feeling all right? We keeping alive? We all doing our thing? Let me tell you something, man. Something that I like to do is really pressure you guys to live life and explore a bit, right? I want you guys to explore and find different ways to live life, you know? Find new experience and things that you try. Something I've considered trying lately has been caving. I've considered doing a little cave hunting and looking for some caves to go do a little cave diving in, you know? Or I shouldn't say cave diving, you know? I shouldn't say cave diving. I should probably say more like, I don't know, cave spelunking, I guess would be the term, right? Spelunking. I guess would be the right term. Either way, right? It's all about crawling through a cave in tight spaces, exploring it. I've been thinking about doing it lately, you know? And there's a lot of people out there who, well, they know what it is, and they're kind of thinking to themselves, how could you be fucking stupid? But I'm not being stupid. So I try to help you out with the string here on the mic. That being said, you know, I think something... Yeah? Woo-woo, right? Woo-woo. Gotta love dogs. Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, dogs are amazing. And I think if I had to give like my top 5 favorite dog breeds list, jeez, that's a tough one. Number 5's gotta be American Bullies. Number 4 has gotta be the Blue Pointer. Number 3 has gotta be the Labrador. Number 2 has to be two's got to be the Taco Bell dog. And number 1 to me is always going to be, in my opinion, the Saint Bernard breed. All right? And I bet some of you are like, Saint Bernards? Why Saint Bernards, right? Why such a seemingly random breed? It's because St. Bernards fucking rock. And if there's any of you guys out there that try to say they don't, you're an ass. Alright? Because St. Bernards are fucking cool, okay? I bet St. Bernards are cooler than any dog on earth, you know? Quite a history. That being said, it has been a beautiful evening so far. You know that? I haven't been outside yet to see the stars, but I will say it's probably been a beautiful night, too. You know, part of me's always wondered, right? If the planets could talk, what kind of story would they tell? Genuinely, I'm curious, right? What type of story would a star tell people? Out of curiosity. Would it tell us stories of planets past? Would it tell us of the things it's seen in its millennia? The stuff that's come and gone? Be quite interesting to find out, you know? Quite interesting to find out. Anyone here ever think to themselves, I wonder if humanity is ever going to find a point in reality where we could just think of something and have it show up? Is there ever going to come that time? And I feel like it's possible that we're not exactly too far off from it, but we're also missing a very major piece, and that piece is still eluding us to this day. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. There's just so much to talk about. There's a lot to talk about. And only so much time to talk about. But that's being said, I'm gonna stand for a second, get my brain to fucking get some blood flow, and let's talk for a second about something important to me, all right? And it's something that I find important that I feel like we need to talk about, right? And I feel like this doesn't get talked about enough, is waste management. Yes, waste management. You see, we as a species have produced so much waste in the past, so much garbage and refuse and shit and piss. And you start to think, what's going to happen when the Earth is out of space to put all this piss and shit and trash? Once all these Labubus take up all the fucking landfills, and all the fucking Nikes and the fucking Jordans and the fucking whatever the next big fad thing comes around and fills the landfill up, what's going to happen then? Because in my opinion, I'm going to try sitting on my knees on this thing. I want to see how that feels. I don't know why, but I want to. That being said, something I kind of want to see, right? I want to witness a time where we start being able to maybe create crafting materials, like building material and such, out of these, out of this waste, I think it'd be a really good idea to try and figure that out. I might actually get off my knees in a second, because for some reason this chair naturally drifts this way. Like, I'm not moving, I'm not touching anything. It's like a Switch 2 Joy-Con drift. It stops right around here. Oh, that's a balloon. For a second there, I was like, oh, one of the studio puppies behind me? No, we're good. That being said, God, there's so much stuff to talk about tonight. And I guess I'm just going to keep, am I going to fully do a 360? No, I'm going to stop right here. This is where I'm going to stop, chair, really? Not even facing the people, really? I will make this chair do a 360. There. Okay. Now let's address the people one more time. Are you fucking serious? Okay, we're gonna sit normally. We're gonna sit normally, people. We're gonna sick like we're gonna sick. Yeah, we're gonna sick. I got the C20 minus one. Nah, we're gonna sit normally and talk normally, okay? Can we talk about why it seems we as humanity are focused on making roar? Just gotta keep yawning and roaring, Whenever you motherfuckers trip me into yawning, I just gotta roar. Where was it? Oh, yeah. Why is it that we as humans try to fast track our consumption of calories? Eating, right? We have a real bad habit of trying to make the process of cooking faster and consuming quicker. I mean, look at the invention of Go-Gurt, right? Yogurt in a tube, just squeeze into your mouth like toothpaste. Are you really going to tell me that's a good invention? I would much rather, eat my yogurt, right? Give me a wooden spoon. Give me a wooden spoon that my name's T'Challa. Give me a wooden spoon that my name's T'Challa. Let me fucking eat my yogurt, Don't make me drink that shit, Don't let me pull that fucking shit out of a tube. When you gotta suck that thing out of a tube, it feels like you're sucking out of, you know what I'm saying? So why are we trying to fast pass all of our foods, Why would we want to drink our yogurts? Why would we want to drink our greens? Why would we want to drink our meat? Fuck the juicer! Fuck the juicer. Make a steak. Cook some green beans. Eat a peach. Don't be a bitch. Yeah. Can I be honest with you guys? My eyes are not right here. My eyes are up here. This is where my eyes are right now. There, now I can see kind of. Hi! T'Challa! Tanaka! Arasaka! Type 79 Nambu! Hold on. Oh. Holy. Oh, my nose is starting to run in that thing because of the heat. You guys ever get that whenever you like get into a sauna or you get into a hot area and your nose starts to like run? And not like a nice healthy run like you're going on a run in the morning. It's like a fat guy running and getting to a point of, getting to a point of like getting sick type of running, you know? Oh my gosh, honey. Roar, how we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about something important for a second here, all right? Let's talk about it, WWE. Number one, if you like the WWE, you cool with me. This thing got batteries in it? Hold up. Where the button at for it? Hold up. Where the button at for this? Oh, is it just batteries? I might need some fresh batteries in it. But it's one of them WWE belts. Hold up, can I fit in this? Can I like fit in it? I don't think I can. I don't think I can fit it. I'm trying here, but just ain't big enough. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, this thing, oh, it spins. I didn't know it spun. I thought this was Rico. You are not a cave diver. That being said, oh, they got different sounds too. Hold up. Oh, does it only go for as long as it spins? So how many are there? There's like 5 or 6. What? There's that. Y'all ready for this? Hold up. This is kind of crazy. I didn't even know they made WWE belts like this. I know they made the reproduction belts and things like that, but I've never seen them do sound effects. So wait, if you spin it the other way, does it make different sounds? Does it? Dude, that's kind of cool. I ain't gonna cap. Reminds me of like the old Power Ranger morphers when you used to be like, ha! Ninja Storm, Ninja Form, ha! That one was delayed, but it did it. Hold on, can I actually like remember any? Oh, there is a button. There is a button. Right here. I'm gonna be honest, guys. It's been a while since I've messed around with a belt like this. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Balloon on the. Whoa! But we're back. We're back. That being said, yeah, we just popped the balloon under my ass by accident. I do not believe that's what caused our little camera outage there, but it's possible. It's possible my ass is just that good, you know? Fucking popping balloons and popping airwaves, you know? That being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to look at this belt real closely here because this is awesome. This is beautiful. You honestly couldn't even see the lighting at first either. That's something else I didn't see. It meshes so well. And then the fact that they've implemented something that actually works in it. Okay, I am autistic as fuck. And things that spin like that sometimes get me. And this bad boy is kind of cool. I can't lie. I can't lie. This is the type of thing that if I was a child, I would have fucking loved it, my dude. Though I wish they would have had, you know whose song I wish they'd had on there? The Undertaker! That's who I wish. That would be a good one. Some cool shit, I ain't gonna lie. But I feel paralyzed and I've been feeling distracted by you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real quick before I go crazy here. You know, I absolutely love every last one of you guys when you tune in. And honestly, I want to thank y'all for coming in. That being said, here in a moment, we're going to have ourselves a brief intermission. You know, that being said, hopefully you guys will still be here once we're right on back. That being said, as I've said that a million times, right? Do me a favor and,
It's intermission time, folks. So hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right over to our refreshment center for the most extravagant array of refreshment goodies ever assembled under one roof.
Something else, yeah.
Strike two.
God damn it! The lucky fucking bat! The lucky fucking bat! Now!
It's not even a bat, but okay.
It's alright! It's alright!
我有几个球真的打得不错。
这个球飞到的是在左野方向。This ball is long gone, just like the ex-girlfriend who will never return. Home run!
That's stained glass. Can your bong do that? Gentlemen, what's going on? It's your boy coming at you from the studio, and I wanted to talk to you guys for a second. You see, have you ever been left wondering what you should get for someone special in your life? Maybe you want a special treat, but you don't know what it is. Or maybe you want to replace that old answer machine. Or hey, you know what? This might even be stretching it, but maybe you're a business person looking for an ad or someone to do a production tag for you. Well, look no further than my Cameo, where I do all of that and then some. So what are you waiting for? Check out my Cameo today. They make amazing gifts, amazing little personal treats, and hey, if you happen to need some motivation, I can help you get off your ass. That being said, what are you waiting for? Check it out today. Right. Whew. Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome back. We are here to chat with you guys for a little longer here. Let me grab the microphone. Grab the microphone real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about today, okay? Let's talk about some of the stuff we've learned, some of the stuff we can take away from this. Number one takeaway, all right? Number one is that Labubu is finally making a good choice and doing a collaboration with your boy. Keep an eye out for our $4 Labubu set that will be coming out soon. I would say within the next 2 to 3 weeks. They are already in production. They are all physically being made. We have the mock-ups hidden here in the studio. However, we cannot show you guys. So there's one thing you've learned. That's a very positive thing to have learned. The second thing we've learned is that little Rico here is a very inquisitive puppy and will come up and sniff around and everything. Something else we've also learned is not only that, but life and everything else is such a good vibe. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about here. Here, let me show you real quick. Let me get a quick picture. Ready to go? Come on. This right here, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna teach you a little bit more, okay? We're gonna teach you a little bit more. This here is Rico. He is a beautiful little bulldog, as you can see. Oh, and he has a little thing with me where he likes to be play around a lot. He likes to play around a lot. He likes to play. Please don't bite my ear, buddy. Oh my God. He likes to play a lot. He likes to play like he's a Saint Bernard, and he's just a little tiny thing. He really is just a tiny little buddy. Look at you, bud. Look at you. You're trying to climb up. Oh, God, not Trinity, too. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, I'm being double teamed. Oh, my God. Rico, here, bud. Ready? Come on. Go see your papa for a moment, buddy. Come on. Rico, go here. Come on, bud. Oh, oh my God. Oh, I'm doggy piled right now. Oh my God. I've been doggy piled. I got you, Rico, so you don't fall. Oh my God. This is a lovely doggy pile. I'm trying not to be too loud right now because it's late. And the neighbors to the studio. Oh, Rico, much love, buddy. Here, go see your papa, though. Go see your papa. Okay. So something else we have learned, obviously, is that Rico is a love muffin. We learned that Trinity is just as much a love muffin. Yeah, Rico? Yeah? You want to just come say a few more things? You want to say a few more things? Yeah? You don't want to say anything else to the fan base? Yeah? There we go. That being said, something we learned is that the dogs are absolutely adorable. They are great creatures that will help you out immensely with your mental health if you take care of them. Something that we did not learn yet, and it's something that I wish to learn, is the secret to life, right? I want to learn what is the big secret? Like, what is the big answer to everything? Mainly because, right, life is a big game, and it's about figuring out how to play it right. All right? And then one more thing we didn't learn that I kind of wish we did was I wish we learned how to work on engines today. But right now, engine work is not in our college course. It's not in our syllabus right now. What is in our syllabus, right, is us talking about how today's stream has gone, kind of going over everything, and then doing ourselves a huge favor mentally and making ourselves stronger by reading 5 pages from our book, finding a random starting point, and reading said pages. So without further ado, I'm going to try and squeeze this with my thighs to keep it in place, and I'm going to try to read to you guys, okay? So I'm going to find a random starting point and read 5 pages in from that, just like we usually do. Just like last time, this is George Lucas's Star Wars, the book, from the adventures of Luke Skywalker.
without further ado, let's do this. So the random page we're going to start from, read 5 pages from on that point, will be... How about... 165. We'll choose a really nice number. 165. Ready? Here. Let me hold this a little bit better, okay? Starting at 165. Ready? That young Luke, the adventurous Corellian, and his partner and the 2 robots had been involved in something other than quiet napping. He already suspected from the amount of activity he had observed while making his way back to the power trench. Surely all those troops hadn't been out hunting just for him. But something else was troubling them. Judging from the references he had overheard concerning a certain important prisoner now escaped, that discovery had puzzled him, until he considered the restless natures of both Luke and Han Solo. Undoubtedly, they were involved in some fashion. Ben sensed something directly ahead, and slowed cautiously. It had a most familiar fear to it. A half-remembered mental odor he could not quite place. Then the figure stepped out in front of him, blocking his entry to the hangar. Not 5 meters away, the outline and the size of the figure completed the momentary puzzle. It was the maturity of the mind he had outlined, the size of the figure completed, the monumental size of the figure. It was the maturity of the mind he had sensed that had temporarily confused him. His hand moved naturally to the hilt of his deactivated saber. "I've been waiting a long time, Obi-Wan Kenobi," Darth Vader intoned solemnly. "We meet again at last." The circle has been completed. Kenobi sensed his satisfaction beneath the hideous mask. "The presence I sensed earlier could only have been you," Kenobi regarded the great form blocking his retreat and nodded slowly. He gave an impression of being more curious than impressed. "You still have much to learn." "You were once my teacher," Vader admitted, "and I learned much from you. But the time of learning has long passed. I am the master now." The logic that had constituted the missing link in his brilliant pupil remained and absent. As before, there would be no reasoning here. Kenobi knew, igniting his saber. He assumed the pose, a warrior ready. A movement accomplished with the ease and elegance of a dancer. Rather roughly, Vader initiated and moved. Several minutes followed without motion, as the 2 men remained staring at each other as if waiting for some proper, as yet unspoken signal. Kenobi blinked once, shook his head, and tried to clear his eyes, which had begun to water slightly. Sweat beaded up on his forehead, and his eyelids fluttered again. "Your powers are weak," Vader noted emotionlessly. "Only man, you should never have come back. Old man, you should have never come back. It will make your end less peaceful than you might have wished." "You sensed only part of the Force, Darth Vader," Kenobi murmured with his assurance of whom death is merely another sensation, like sleeping or making love or touching a candle. As always, you perceive it, reality, as little as a utensil perceives the taste of food. Executing a move in incredible swiftness, for one so old, Kenobi lunged at a massive shape. Vader blocked and stabbed with equal speed and parried. Another parry, and Kenobi countered again, using the opportunity to move around the towering Dark Lord. They continued to trade blows, with the old man now backing toward the hangar. Once his saber and Vader's locked, the interaction of the 2 energy fields producing violent sparking and flashing and low buzzing. 3PO peeked around the entrance of the dock.
Worried, counting the number of troopers milling around the deserted freighter. Where could they be? Oh. He ducked out of sight, and just one of the guards glanced in his direction. A second, more cautious appraisal was more rewarding, it revealed. Han, Solo, and Chewbacca hugging the wall of another tunnel on the far side of the bay. Solo was also nonplussed at the number of guards. He muttered, "Didn't we just leave this party?" Chewbacca grunted and both turned only to relax and lower their weapons at the sight of Luke and Princess. "What kept you?" Solo quipped mirthlessly. "We ran into," Leia explained, panting heavily. "Some old friends." Luke was staring at the fighter. "Is the ship right?" "Seems okay," Solo analyzed. "Doesn't look like they've removed anything or disturbed her engines. Problem's gonna be getting to it." Leia suddenly pointed to one of the opposite tunnels. "Look!" Illuminated with flare by the contacting energy fields, Ben Kenobi and Darth Vader were backing each other beside the senator. Every one of the guards moved in for a better view of the Olympian conflict. "Now there's a chance," Solo observed, staring forward. All 7 of the troops guarding the ship broke and rushed towards the combatants going to the Dark Lord's aid. 3PO barely ducked aside as they ran past him. Turning back to the alcove, he yelled to his companion, "Unplug yourself, R2, we're leaving!" As soon as the socket, the 2 droids began to slow edge out of the open bay. Kenobi heard the approaching commotion and spared a glance back into the hangar. The squad of troopers bearing down on him was enough to show that he was trapped. Vader took immediate advantage of the moment, distraction, and brought his saber over and down on Kenobi. Somehow Kenobi managed to deflect the sweeping blow, with once parrying and turning a complete circle. "You still have your skill, but your power fades. Prepare to meet the Force, Obi-Wan." Kenobi gazed the shrieking distance between the coming troops and himself, then turned and gave a pitying gaze to Vader. "This is a fight you cannot win, Darth. Your power has matured since I taught you. But I, too, have grown much since parting. If my blade finds its mark, you will cease to exist. But if you cut me down, I will only become more powerful. Heed my words." "Your philosophies no longer confuse me, old man," Vader growled contemptuously. "I am the master now." Once again he lunged forward, feinting, and then slashing in a quick, deadly downward arc, cutting the old man clearly in half. There was a brief flash of Kenobi's cloak fluttered to the deck in 2 neat sections, but Ben Kenobi was not in it. Wary of some tricks, Vader poked the empty cloak sections with the saber, and for no signs of the old man. He had vanished as though he had never existed. The guards lowered their approach and joined Vader in examining the place where Kenobi had stood mere seconds before. Several of them muttered, and, well, even the awesome presence of the Sith Lord couldn't keep a few of them from feeling a little afraid. Once the guards had turned and dashed for the far tunnel, Solo and the others started for the starship. Until Luke saw Kenobi cut in 2, instantly he shifted direction and was moving towards the guard. "Ben!" he screamed, firing wildly towards the troops. Solo cursed but turned to fire in support of Luke. One of the energy bolts struck the safety release on the tunnel blast door, the emergency hold broken. The heavy door fairly exploded downward. Both the guards and Vader leaped clear, the guards to the bay. And Vader backwards to the opposite side of the door. Solo had turned and started to the entrance to the ship, but he paused as he saw Luke running towards the guard. "It's too late," the lady yelled. "It's over." "No," Luke shouted, half sobbed. A familiar yet different voice rang in his ears. Ben's voice. "Luke, listen," was all it said. Bewildered, Luke turned to hunt for the source of the admiration, but only saw Leia beckoning to him as she followed R2 and 3PO up the ramp. "Come on, there's no time." Hesitating, his mind still on the imagined voice, or was it imagined? The confused look took aim and felled several soldiers before he too whirled and retreated to the starfighter. Dazed, Luke staggered toward the front of the ship. He He barely noticed the sound of the energy bolts. Too weak to penetrate the ship's deflectors, exploding harmlessly outside, his own safety was currently of little concern to him. With misty eyes, he stared as Chewbacca and Solo adjusted controls. I hope that old man managed to knock out that tractor beam, the civilian was saying, or this is going to be a very short ride. Ignoring him, Luke returned to the hold area. Leia Organa regarded him quietly for a while, then removed her cloak. Moving to him, she placed it gently around his shoulders. There wasn't anything he could do or have done, she whispered comfortably. It was all over in an instant. Here we are, page 5. I can't believe he's gone, came Luke's reply, his voice a ghost, a whisper. I can't. Solo shifted the lever and staring nervously ahead, but the massive bay door was constructed to respond to the approach of any vessel. The safety feature now served to facilitate their escape as the fighter slipped quickly past the still opening door and out into the free space. Nothing, Solo sighed. Suddenly several readouts with profound satisfaction. Not so much as an urge of come hither. He did it all right. Chewbacca rumbled something and the pilot's attention shifted to another series of gauges. Right, Chewie, I forgot a moment. And there are other ways of persuading us to return. His teeth flashed into grand determination. But the only way they'll get us back is traveling to him in this piece. Whirling, he ran out of the cockpit. Come with me, kid, he shouted to Luke, and he entered the hold. We're not out of this yet. Luke didn't respond, didn't move, and Leia turned an angry face to Solo. Leave him alone, can't you see what the old man meant to him? An explosion jarred the ship, nearly tumbling Solo to the deck. So what? The old man gave himself to give us a chance to get away. You want to waste that, Luke? You want Kenobi to have wasted himself? Luke's head came up and stared with a vacant eyes at the Cerulean. No, not quite vacant. There was something too old and unpleasant shining blindly in the back of them. Without a word, he threw off the cloak and joined Solo. Giving him a reassuring smile, Solo gestured down a narrow accessway. Luke looked into the indicated direction, smiled grimly, and rushed down as Solo started down an opposing passage. Luke found himself in a large rotating bubble protrusion from the side of the ship. A long, wicked-looking tube whose purpose was instantly apparent, projected from the apex of the transparent hemisphere. Luke settled himself in the seat and commenced a rapid study of controls. Yep, there we are. We're at a point in the book now where they're just about to get into a firefight as they're leaving the Death Star. And I want to be honest, in tomorrow's episode, I hope we randomly pick 170 because that's going to be a nice one to continue on with. That being said, just as a kind of one last go over, right? In today's stream, we've learned a lot, right? We've learned a lot about humility. We've learned a lot about life. We've learned a lot about things in general. And there's still a lot we need to learn. But if there's one thing that I've learned in particular, it's that you guys are one of the most supportive and amazing fan bases a man could ever ask for. And I just wanted to make sure to say thank you all for tuning in and enjoying today's stream. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to see you guys in tomorrow's, and the next one even. Until then, I hope you all have